Terraforming Mars has long fascinated scientists and dreamers alike, but surprisingly little rigorous research has been done to truly assess its feasibility. With advances in Mars science, climate modeling, and bioscience, the question of whether we can and should transform Mars into a habitable world is more relevant than ever. Before we can decide if warming Mars is worth the effort, we need to understand the practical requirements, costs, and risks involved. This video explores the current state of Mars terraforming research, the challenges ahead, and why now is the time to revisit this bold idea. Motivation to terraform Mars is as diverse as it is compelling. Some see it as a way to ensure humanity's long-term survival, while others are driven by the scientific desire to expand our understanding of the universe. There are also those who argue that Mars should remain a pristine wilderness, untouched by human hands. As we contemplate sending humans beyond Earth, ethical questions arise. Should we reshape another planet as we have Earth, or preserve its untouched beauty? These debates are not just philosophical, they shape the direction of Mars exploration and research. Mars presents a harsh environment for life as we know it. Its surface is extremely cold, bathed in high levels of ultraviolet radiation, and lacks sustained liquid water. Despite these challenges, the dream of large-scale Mars settlement persists. Missions to Mars have revealed a world with a thin atmosphere and an average temperature of -70°C, making it inhospitable for most forms of life. Yet Mars's soil contains nutrients and volatiles that could, with the right conditions, support life. Understanding these challenges is the first step toward any terraforming effort. Terraforming Mars is a multi-phase process. The first phase involves abiotic engineering to warm the planet, making it suitable for extreme life. The second phase sees the introduction of hardy pioneer species, such as engineered microbes, which begin ecological succession and oxygen production. The third and final phase aims for a complex biosphere with higher atmospheric pressure and oxygen, potentially supporting plant life and eventually human. Each phase presents unique scientific and technical challenges that must be addressed through focused research. Recent advances have introduced promising new methods for warming Mars. Techniques like using solar sails to reflect additional sunlight, deploying ultralight materials such as silica aerogels, and engineered aerosols could raise Mars's average temperature by tens of degrees within decades. These approaches are more mass-effective than earlier ideas, such as releasing greenhouse gases. Mars's low atmospheric heat capacity means it could respond quickly to these interventions, but each method requires careful testing and validation. Mars has less water than Earth, but still enough ice to form a deep ocean if melted. Most of this water is locked in cold regions, and melting it requires raising temperatures by at least 30°C. The process is complicated by evaporative cooling, which absorbs heat as ice turns to vapor. Unlocking Mars's water resources is crucial for agriculture, ecological succession, and making the planet more habitable for humans and other life forms. First living organisms on Mars would need to be extremophiles, microbes capable of surviving low pressure, high radiation, cold temperatures, and salty brines. Some Earth microbes already tolerate conditions similar to those on Mars, and advances in synthetic biology may allow us to engineer even more robust species. These pioneer organisms would kickstart the process of oxygen production and ecological succession, laying the groundwork for more complex life. For any large-scale terraforming effort, proposed warming techniques must be thoroughly tested. Laboratory and numerical experiments are essential to validate models and understand the effects of warming on Mars's climate. Small-scale field tests on Mars would help refine these models and ensure that any warming method is controllable, reversible, and biocompatible. Only with careful, stepwise testing can we responsibly move forward with terraforming. Extremophiles, organisms that thrive in extreme environments, are key to the early stages of Mars terraforming. Some can survive high levels of radiation, extreme cold, and even salty toxic conditions. By introducing these organisms, we could begin transforming Mars's chemistry, producing oxygen and organic matter, and paving the way for more complex ecosystems. Their resilience makes them ideal candidates for the first wave of Martian life. Mars's soil, or regolith, is rich in silicate minerals and contains essential nutrients like sulfur, chlorine, and fixed nitrogen. While the atmosphere lacks substantial nitrogen, the soil's nutrient content could support pioneering microbial communities. Understanding Mars's soil composition is vital for developing sustainable ecosystems and supporting future agriculture on the red planet. As Mars warms and extremophiles establish themselves, the next step is to build a more complex biosphere. This involves ecological succession, where different species gradually create a stable, self-sustaining ecosystem. Over time, increased biomass and oxygen production could support more advanced life forms, including plants and eventually animals. The ultimate goal is a diverse planetary biosphere unique to Mars. Creating a breathable atmosphere on Mars is a monumental challenge. The target is an atmosphere with enough oxygen for humans and other life, but not so much to risk uncontrolled combustion. Achieving this balance could involve photosynthesis, water electrolysis, and careful management of atmospheric gases. This process would take centuries, but even partial progress could make large areas of Mars habitable for humans and other species. Terraforming Mars raises profound ethical and scientific questions. Should we introduce Earth life to another planet, potentially disrupting any native Martian life? How do we balance the desire to explore and settle Mars with the responsibility to protect its unique environment? These questions require not just technical solutions, but also thoughtful public debate and international cooperation. Research into Mars terraforming doesn't just benefit future Martians, it also has the potential to help us on Earth. Technologies developed for Mars, such as desiccation-resistant crops and improved ecosystem modeling, could address challenges like climate change and food security here at home. Mars serves as a testbed for planetary science, offering insights that could help us sustain our own oasis planet. Fully terraforming Mars would be a project spanning centuries, but the journey begins now with focused research and exploration. Priorities include quantifying Mars's water and gas reserves, returning soil samples, and testing warming methods. As we learn more, we'll be better equipped to answer the big questions. Can we make Mars habitable? And just as importantly, should we? The future of Mars and perhaps humanity depends on the choices we make today.